Hi there, welcome back. A couple of weeks ago, I shared I feel, pretty powerful message on Instagram stories, and I decided to save that so that you could take advantage of it today because it has since expired. Don't forget that with my Instagram stories, I keep them in a highlight for that day of the week, and it stays there for 1 week. So on the 7th day or 1 week later, I clear it out because typically new content is going in. But I shared a question that a client that week had asked me about my time that I spend in the morning upon awakening, where I do my spiritual time. It's a practice that I do at least 5 days per week where I stretch, I do some posture work, breath work, and I spend time with the Lord. And she had a great question. I'm not going to share it here because you'll hear it when we get into the video. But another thing that I bring up a few times in my Instagram stories is 3-week intense and how it's the last day to register. Well, the date that I shared that about 2 weeks ago, it was the last day to register. So clearly that is in the past, and Quarter 4 3-week intense is currently in session. We end the Sunday before Thanksgiving. So if you're doing 3-week intense, I hope it's going well for you. It's going well for me, and I love this community. But I wanted to share, if 3-week intense is something that interests you, the dates are posted for Quarter 1 of 2025. In the description box below this video is a link to get to the 3-week intense page where you can check out those dates and you can get registered. And if 3-week intense is new to you, you'll get all of the information there. And please read the testimonials. The other thing that I talk about is FOMO, fear of missing out, and JOMO, joy of missing out. Leave in the comment section below if you have any JOMO, joy of missing out, and what you experience JOMO about. What do you have joy about missing out on? I'd love to hear. The other thing that I didn't mention in my Instagram stories, but I'll mention it here, is I have a parenting class coming up. This is a 2-part series. In the description box below will be a link to get to that page so you can get more information about that class. That is a highly requested class. I also share on the Hensel Coaching and Consulting website what I cover in that class. So if that interests you, please, please, please check that out. Without further ado, let's take a peek at what I shared a couple of weeks ago on Instagram stories. Good early morning. I'll shut that off just for a moment while I'm chatting with you. Oh, no, I did stop it. I am in my special area doing my stretching, which usually looks like this. With that little bit of light on and my heater going. And I'm right here on a mat, okay, on this mat, doing my stretching, my posture work, and my breath work. And I just got started. So I had to go into my app because I wear my chest strap. Let me share that I slept in until 4 because I got to bed more like 9 last night. And I will share with you that 3 days this week, I've tested the waters on getting up at 4 instead of 3, just because I'd really like to get back to that. And I will share that it's a struggle. It's not, losing an hour is not going well for me because I'm not going to stay up an extra hour if I don't have to. But I'm testing it out. But it has caused a little bit of chaos and stress just losing an hour. So, but I'd like to get into that in 2025 in Quarter 1 if I can get back to a 4 a.m. wake up. which also explains why I haven't really been on here. So even you guys are impacted if I sleep in until 4 on a day that typically I would get up at 3. And again, it's because I'm spending time with the Lord too. This part of my morning is taking longer because of my time with Him. So I have to make this short. Good luck, Tracy, with you making something short. But I had a session yesterday with a client who also is doing 3-week intense. Don't forget, today is the last day to register for 3-week intense. It closes. We don't start until Monday, but registration closes today. So get on it. I always get an email or two, like the day of people. Every round I get an email or two, or Haley does, where someone wants to join after we start, and they'll somehow usually say I don't know how I missed it. And I'm like, you didn't miss anything. I've been talking about this on all my platforms. It's just FOMO set in and you just didn't pull the trigger in time. And it's okay if you have JOMO. I'm a JOMO girl, joy of missing out on things. So you don't have to join, but if you want to join, today's the last day. So if FOMO is setting in, just you got to decide FOMO or JOMO. Yes. Okay, but a client that I coached yesterday asked me a great question. She said, Tracy, because she is actually trying to implement a similar routine, spending time with the Lord, but multitasking that time. I keep getting cut off. So again, she wants to incorporate a similar routine with like the note cards. Basically, she wants to mimic what I'm doing because she feels like she is just witnessing, because she works with me one-on-one, how profound this practice that I have of solitude, of my devoted time, how much it's serving me, especially during a season where I've struggled. I'm still struggling. I'm going through just a really difficult year, a difficult season, and she is as well. So she's trying to incorporate it, which is great. I love that. But she asked me, how do you stop yourself from having things pop up in your head, like things you need to do, just whatever? How do you stop that? And it was a great question. And I shared with her, I don't stop that. I don't try to stop that. I don't play the power struggle of trying to be in control of that happening. I let it go. Whatever comes to me, whatever flows to me is meant to be there. I trust that God has got me, and that anything that comes up for me is there for a purpose. So what I do is I sit up from being in whatever position I am in, stretching, with no lights on, and something comes to me. I sit up, and if I need to stop my app, because I do track my time, I keep my computer right here. And I will open it, and I'm not kidding. Most days, it's sitting like that. It's already sitting, because every single day something comes to me, because this is when I'm the sharpest. So I embrace it. I want to capitalize on when I'm the sharpest. So I pretty much keep my list for the day. Again, I kind of block schedule. Don't forget that I have a whole entire workshop called the Time Block Masterclass. I believe there's 3 videos to that. I pretty much try to block my day. So if something comes up that I need to do today, I will immediately, in that document, dump in whichever block I think I'm going to get that in. So I've already had like 3 things pop up, even most of it before I got down in here. It was basically when I was getting my coffee that I've already dumped. Now, if it's something that's down the road, which I just had something that came to my mind that I needed to put in about the 3rd week of November, I immediately went in there, because again, I won't remember this, so I have to dump it immediately. Now, I'm not saying all days are like that. There are days where I don't have that happen, but there's a lot of moving parts to my life. So there's moving parts with my children, there's moving parts with my grandchildren, there's moving parts with household. Now we have the holiday season coming up. There's moving parts with that. So this is the time of the year where probably a lot of stuff is going to come up. This is also why I have no desire to have a meditation practice. No desire. When I went through a yoga teacher training program for part of my continuing education units to stay a personal trainer, and you could pick like an area, and I picked yoga for some of those units, we had to do a meditation practice, and I didn't enjoy it. It caused me stress. I had no interest in doing it, but I had to suck it up because it was part of the program. And while I support people that have a meditation practice, I have a breathwork practice, I have a posture practice, I have a stretching practice, I have a practice of solitude where I spend time with the Lord. I think it's all great. I just also think that we only have so many hours in a day, and we have to kind of cherry pick what's going to work for us. Not all seasons are all those things going to fit. My girls certainly aren't doing all these things that I just mentioned, and I would never be like, you need to. They're raising children, they're working they're working. It's probably not going to be in their season, but could they cherry pick something? Maybe right now is a season of diving into exercise. Well, then that's where you're going to put your time. You may not be really doing a stretching practice, maybe someday, hopefully, but we just simply aren't going to do it all. We're not going to be able to check off all boxes. Meditation is a practice where you aren't going to be brain dumping things that come up for you, because the key with meditation is that you free yourself from that, and learning to incorporate a practice of meditation is going to be a real power struggle if you're someone who, you're a thinker. Okay, and you're a doer, and so things pop up for you. So at the end of the day, I just have no desire. I have JOMO, joy of missing out on a meditation practice. And again, you may have JOMO on doing a breathwork practice, doing a stretching practice, doing a posture routine practice, all the things that I do. And that's okay. Don't analyze it. Don't judge it. Never feel that you should be doing anything that doesn't serve you right now in this season. But anyway, yeah, it was a great question. But yes, I dump. I stop. I hit stop on my app like it's stopped right now so that I can say this while it's fresh before I get right back. I've only done like 3 moves right now in my posture routine, and I do several. And while others may not see it as a God moment, I actually see it as a God moment. If something comes to my mind that needs to be done, I just had a couple of cards show up at my house, like sympathy cards. From viewers or clients, because my grandmother passed away a week ago Monday, and I want to recognize those people for reaching out. So I didn't think about it yesterday when I opened the cards, but I dumped in a list of things to get to, but not too far out. So they're not necessarily in today's list, but I want to recognize them somehow, reaching out with a card back. Whether I want to text message, email, I will decide according to what I feel is the best method or source. But I wanted to brain dump that so it doesn't get out of my mind. Because this is my sacred time with the Lord, I trust Him. I'm listening to Him. I'm not doing a lot of prayer and talking. I'm kind of sitting here. And I'm like, what do you have for me today? Like, let's just talk about it. And I'm just listening. So if something comes up in my mind that I need to dump, I believe that that's a God thing. That's a divine moment. That's Him saying this needs to come up to you for a purpose. We can keep talking. You're going to be with me for a while. I spend a lot of time down in this room. You're here for a while. And I talk to Him, and I'm listening all day in dialogue with Him all day. So if something comes up for me, I believe He's telling me, well, we're going to get to everything, but right now this is on your mind, and you need to dump it. So you need to trust me. You need to follow me. You need to trust me, because you're doing life's work, and there's a lot of parts to it. Have a good morning. I said have a good morning, but I'm back. See, my list is up. Let me also share this. If you love what I share, Always remember that during 3-week intense, I back away from this platform a little bit because I'm devoting more time to the 3-week intense members on the Facebook group community. They get little videos like this. They may get something like this where you may not. Some things I share on stories because I still need to, and I let the community know that I need you guys watching me on stories too, because there's things you will benefit there. Even if I have a workout move I show, sometimes I'll show it on stories and not on the page, or I'll do it on both. But if you want to spend more time with me, maybe in a little bit deeper way, 3-week intense is the place to be because I'm on that Facebook community page. Also, the 3 dumps I've had, besides the one on the getting back to the clients and viewers, followers that reached out to me about my grandma or sent a card. My first 3 dumps that came to my mind this morning all had to do with daughters. The first one is something about Carly. I need to dump the notes from her Marco Polo she sent me yesterday, because she sent me a Marco with some details. And while I know what they kind of are, I need to dump them because I won't remember. Something came up for me this morning based on some things that Kirsten has been sharing with me that have been a struggle for her lately. And I think based on just being a good listener and listening to understand her, I think something came up for me, and I want to capitalize on that. I want to share with her. I think I pinpointed something that could be why she's struggling in this one little area. And she just shared last night again to McKenna and me that she still is kind of struggling with this. And I think some things came up for me, and I want to share it with her because it's a great way for her to maybe get through this little pocket of struggle. If she's like, yeah, now that I think of it, that is kind of part of my struggle. Maybe now she can release it, right? And then my third one is getting back with McKenna on some text that she sent me yesterday for the bed she has chosen for the guest bedroom that she's helping or pretty much doing all the decorating for. She's got 3 beds selected, and she wants to see which ones I like, and one is extremely high and one is priced low. But because of my day yesterday and everything that was on my plate, I really didn't have time to do it. So I want to do that today. I want to follow up today, and I'll forget. I did tell her last night when we all got together for trick-or-treating and we had dinner together, pizza, and McKenna made a dip and all that. I did tell her, I got your text messages of the beds. I will take a peek today, and I'm going to follow up today. So I did tell her that, but then I didn't dump it anywhere. I didn't make a note for myself. I won't remember. That email or that text will be long gone because I've moved on. So it came up for me this morning, I think when I was upstairs getting the coffee stuff done. So I needed to dump that. Again, quit trying to remember everything in your head. It's just, I'm sure that you just feel dazed and confused and like you're spinning your wheels all day long. You're like a hamster chasing, I don't know. You're just, it's exasperating. Stop. Just dump it. I keep coming back to you in my routine, but I believe that God is speaking to me. He's telling me, Tracy, I tell you all the time to be obedient. Do the right thing for the right reason at the right time. Right now is the right time to speak to your community. This is the right time. What you have to say can bring value to their life. It can draw them closer to me. It's your job, Tracy. Do your life's work. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're meant to do on your earthly life with the time that you have to live. Be obedient to me. So here I am being obedient, right? Why fight this? The other thing I want to share with you, because I know some of you need to hear this. Yesterday, I was in a freaking funk. F-U-N-C-K. I want to spell it differently and say it differently because that is how much of a funk I was in from the time I got up until the time I went to bed. I was in a funk, and it was a really bad funk. I don't remember the last time I'd been in such a bad freaking funk. Are you ever in a funk? Are you ever? Let me know. I'll take a poll. Are you ever in a funk? Yes, of course you are. If you say you're not, I'm just sorry, I'm not going to believe you. But yes, why was I in a funk? Who knows? Who freaking knows? But I wasn't about ready to rent real estate up here trying to figure out why I was in a funk. But I was literally in a funk all day. I was tired, I was cold, and I was in a funk. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I have days like that. Quit judging it. Quit analyzing it. You're human. It's going to happen. Trust that you're in God's hands. You're in a funk. Deal with it. I don't like being there, but it happens, right? Just like you. Let me know. Now, did my clients know I was in a funk? I doubt it. Did my husband know I was in a funk? I don't know. I doubt Paul would think that I was in a funk. He knew I was tired. I probably said that a couple of times, and he knows I was cold. But I doubt. I think if someone were to ask him, and I wasn't there, was Tracy in a funk yesterday? I think he'd probably go, I don't think so. I don't know. I doubt it. I think that would be his reply. When we got together with our loved ones, our 3 kids that don't live out of state yesterday, and our grandkids, would any of them have thought I was in a funk? Absolutely not. Did my hairdresser, my hairstylist, probably think I was in a funk? I doubt it, because I did have a hair appointment yesterday. This was my only, third time going to her. She may have thought, there's a chance she could have thought I wasn't as talkative. But, Paul and I go together, and Paul's a talker too. So I'm sure she didn't think I don't think anyone thought I was in a funk. That's the key. For me, I don't analyze it. I don't judge it. I'm human. I'm going to have days like that. I don't love having days like that. I don't have a lot of them, but I am going to be in a funk at times. Woke up this morning feeling great. So who knows? Who just knows? Why are we playing the power struggle in our mind, trying to figure it out, labeling it as depressed, or labeling it as all these terms that get thrown around way too loosely? I simply was in a funk. It is what it is. Tomorrow will probably be a better day, and look, it is. I don't think any of my loved ones would ever say that I'm in a bad mood. My husband is not going to say, oh yeah, Tracy, she was in a bad mood, or my wife was in a bad mood, or my wife is moody. My kids are never going to tell one of their friends, yeah, well, my mom, she was in a bad mood. I have funks. The key is that we don't have to wear it on our sleeve. And if you want to call that fake, whatever loose word you're throwing around by listening to the noise of the world, by being a follower of the world, I can't stop that. But at the end of the day, the key is just to embrace, lean into what you're experiencing, but no one else needs to know. No one wants to be around someone who just wears all their emotions on their sleeve. No, I don't want to be around you. Maybe today that is something to reflect on. Would anyone label me, maybe not to my face or in front of me, but to someone else? Would anyone ever label me as someone who's in a bad mood? I mean, is that the mark you want to leave? Is that how you want to be remembered? The people in my life that I know will all be remembered by how they showed up. If I had to share about anyone in my life after they were gone, I guarantee you that what I would share was how they showed up, more so than what they did for me, how they showed up with me. Certainly, if you had to speak at their funeral, you wouldn't share these things because you want to share all positives, which hopefully how they showed up was positive. But let's say they weren't. They were always in a bad mood, or they were hot-headed, or whatever they were. Certainly that's not what you would want to share. You would want to expand on the areas where they had the strong points and the positives. But deep down in your core, you are remembering people by how they showed up in your life. So how are you showing up? An exercise, well, I have something coming in 2025, and one of the exercises in that program in 2025 is a document that all participants will be taking advantage of how do I want to be remembered? What is your end of the year integrity report going to look like? Are you doing an end of the year integrity report? Are you a person of your word? I have a workshop where we kind of talk about that. It's not a full-blown integrity report. What is it? Which workshop is it? It's one where you have a whole packet that you fill out that checks if you really value. It's something to do with values. If you really value what you say you value. And I share how when a new client comes on board and fills out their packet to coach with me, if they're going to do any coaching in health and wellness, they have that packet to that questionnaire to fill out as well. So it depends on if you're just doing like self-improvement or health and wellness or both. So which questionnaire you fill out. And on the health and wellness, the question comes up, how important is your health? Or how would you rate, the importance of your health? I am not kidding you. I have stacks and stacks and stacks of clients that I've worked with where I've printed out that questionnaire. In fact, the other day, Paul said, what do you plan to do with all these stacks of clients that are no longer working with you? And I say I save them because people resurface and I want to pull those old documents. But everyone puts high priority. Their health is a high priority. It's not. I find out in coaching, it's not a high priority. You're not living anything to honor this high priority. You're BSing. So I have a workshop that covers that. There's a whole packet you fill out. Let me put it in here. I'll go look for it. Okay, I found it and I put it in there. Yeah, that is a great exercise in itself. So you get this exercise, you fill this packet out, and then I do a whole workshop basically coaching you around it. No, you don't value your health. What we value, we honor. You know, I know what my core values are, and I know what I value, and what I value, I take care of. I manage. I massage that baby. I massage that baby because I value it. So you're just blowing smoke if you're saying you value your health, but yet you're not living that life. If you say if you value your finances, it will show. It will show, right? Yeah. It's okay to be a wannabe. We are all wannabes in some area. There's definitely areas I'm a wannabe. I've shared with Haley, my business manager, all the time. I want to be you. I'm a wannabe. I want to read like you. Like she's probably on her 100th book of the year. I'm a wannabe. I want to be you. Bless her. She puts up, we have a meeting later today. I think it's today. I better look at my calendar. We have a meeting this afternoon. She puts up with a lot. Bless her. I have certain areas I want to be her. I want to be her again with technology. I think I just told her this past week, I want to be you. She had to get me out of a technological pickle. It took her most of the day. Okay, Lord, speak to me. Tell me you're done, Tracy. It's time to move on. You did your job. You did your life's work. You talked to your viewers. It's time to get back to business. I think he's telling me, zip it. Zip it. Come back to me. There's the computer. There's the heater. There's the components. Anyway, I do. I need to wrap it up because this type of stuff sets me back for the day, and I don't, I'm a stress and overwhelm avoider. Don't forget, I have a whole entire YouTube video on avoiding stress and overwhelm. I'll look it up. I'll put it in here, and maybe I'll save this whole entire story for a YouTube video because I do feel it's powerful. Don't forget, Friday newsletter goes out today. A lot going on in there. Don't forget, last day to sign up for 3 Week Intense. Have I mentioned how much I'm loving my book lights? I have 2. The other one is connected to the book that I am reading for 3 Week Intense, which I've already started. That book will be in today's newsletter if you want it. This book light will be in today's newsletter if you want it. This will not, but I love my leather magnetic bookmark so dearly, so dearly. This one, my business manager Haley got for me, and it's initialed, and then she's given me 2 or 3 others. I put them all to use. I actually wouldn't mind another one, especially this big one. I love it. I'll put a link in. Are you good enough? Yes, you're good enough to join 3 Week Intense. Am I worthy? Yes, you're worthy. You're competent. You're loved and you're liked, and we want you a part of this community. The 3 Week Intense Facebook page is incredible. That is where the big magic comes because we're all there in it to win it. We're all choosing our heart together. We're all trusting the process, encouraging and lifting everyone. Yes, it's hard, but being stretched is. And how we feel about ourselves when we put that effort in is incredible. Confidence soars. It soars. Well, thanks for sticking it out and being here. Don't forget, the links are in the description box below for Q1 2025 3 Week Intense, the parenting workshop. Also, don't forget, if you're doing some Christmas shopping, check out my recent purchases video. I have another one coming up, or maybe it already published. I'm not really sure. We'll find out, or it'll be linked. Also, some other resources to get gift recommendations and suggestions. Be sure you're signed up for my newsletter that comes out several days per week, often 2 to 3, depending on how many videos I send out. And there's always a big newsletter every single Friday. And in those newsletters, I will be sharing gift recommendations every single week. Those recommendations are all housed on a blog post that you can get to, and you can scroll through, and everything is categorized. So for anyone on your list, or even for yourself, you will find something. Also, I have an Instagram highlight titled Gift Guides. Check that out, because I'm also saving all those images in there with links to everything. And I always have my classic Instagram stories highlight shop, where I share all sorts of different things that I use on a regular basis. You know, my note cards, the case, whatever, everything is in there. So if you're ever looking for a link to something that you know that I talk about and repeat, always check out the shop Instagram highlight. And then again, check out the gift guides, and be sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. All right, thanks for being here. And don't forget to weigh in. Do you experience JOMO, joy of missing out? And where do you experience JOMO? I have a lot of JOMO in my life. Take care.